Growing up, Toys R Us was always a huge adventure for me and my family. Ultimately, when I'd go visit my dad, we go to Toys R Us. They would code name it the Big T so that my younger siblings would not be able to know that we were on our way to the toy store. Or my parents didn't have a lot of money and they were, trying to make it work. They would try to buy everyone toys and make it a worthwhile, memorable experience. And the weird thing about that is now I live not far away from that exact Toys R Us I would go to as a child. And to find out that it's closing down is bittersweet. But, part of me understands that the adult me is like, yeah, I get it. The business is down. These things happen. The economy, blah, 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 blah. But the child in me, the young child in me is like, no, why, God, why? Why hast thou forsaken me? But at the same time, I don't go to Toys R Us anymore to buy toys. I go there to buy baby stuff, which is just as expensive as the toys. So I get this. When Toys R Us says it will close or sell all U.S. stores. Now, it says here that the iconic toy retailer will shut down or sell all of its almost 800 stores in the United States. A source familiar with the matter told CNN Money on Wednesday. About 33,000 jobs in the United States are at risk. The company's CEO, David Brandon, notified employees early in the day, according to an earlier report. So think about it like this. 800 stores, 33,000 jobs. That's no small amount. That is no small amount of workforce that's going to be going back on unemployment or going into unemployment or just being unemployed in general. That's going to really raise the numbers that Trump keeps touting are low. But it's not Trump's fault, by the way. I don't believe that it is. I'm just saying it's a shame. It's a shame. But at the same time, you can almost kind of see the writing on the wall. I mean, when's the last time Toys R Us was the place to be? Maybe when you were a kid, but now maybe not, right? And if you go there now, what are you looking to get? Well, like maybe collector's things. A lot of people go and they buy the collector's items and stuff, but that's still not enough to keep a store like Toys R Us going, which is why many of the locations either split with Babies R Us or are just Babies R Us. Now, the announcement marks the end for a company that sold toys to millions of American kids. For half a century, Jeffrey, the mascot giraffe, invited children into his giant playhouses. Legions of adults who came of age in the 1980s and 1990s can still whistle the jingle, "I'm a Toys R Us kid." Oh my God, that was ingrained in my head when I was a youth. Unless I said the word youth. But when I was a child, man, it was like, I don't want to grow up. Because, I'm a Toys R Us kid. And I totally messed that up too. But it was a thing. It was there. It was always something special. It was a treat. It's a good, kind, sweet memory from when I was younger. And it's sad that it's going to be going away. It says, but Walmart and Target and other big box retailers, stores that sold aisles of toys and everything else too, began to erode its dominance. And then the emergence of Amazon sped its demise, which is true. And I believe that line there. And then the emergence of Amazon sped its demise is going to be one that will be copy and pasted quite a bit. But just because Amazon is around, it doesn't mean that the visceral experience of going to the toy store yourself is not going to ever go away. I mean, there's a certain amount of amazement and wonder when you watch a child walk through a toy store aisle, and not Walmart, because that crap sucks. Or even Target. I mean, Target will do stuff with Star Wars now that's pretty nice. But ultimately, it's like when they go through Toys R Us and you can look around, you see them like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're like, yeah, this is great, kid. Go pick out a toy, have fun, enjoy your youth. And then that's going away. And I feel bad because my daughter will never fully she'll never get that. She'll never get to see that in the way that it was, I think, intended, unless I take her to New York, we go to FAO Schwartz or something, or was it Saks Fifth Avenue or whatever? Not Saks, that's a retailer. But, any one of those things. Like I remember KB Toys was the thing when I was a kid. That's gone. Now Toys R Us is going to go away. I feel like everything I knew as a child is dying, but that of course comes with age. Now in September, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy, hoping to shed its debt and reinvest in its stores, but the turnaround didn't work. In January, the company said it would close 182 stores across the United States, which was bad, but ultimately not as bad as all 800. Now, Toys R Us is expected to close hundreds of stores worldwide as well. Earlier on Wednesday, Toys R Us said it would be closing all stores in the UK, which I think is around 300, if I recall correctly. Toys R Us hasn't made a full year profit since 2012 and has lost $2.5 billion since then. It reported a loss of $953 million in the first 9 months of last year alone. Sales during the recent holiday period, which the company has yet to report, are believed to have been very bad. And this, yes, has a lot to do with the holiday season and the online deals. Because even Black Friday this year was just kind of like, really? That was it? Like I've been to Black Fridays where people have effectively been trampled. Hell, I have a viral video from 2011 where a person was pepper spraying people in a crowd at Walmart over video games, and that paid for me to go on a cruise to Mexico. So I've been in the shit when it comes to Black Friday, but Black Friday recent years, it's been pretty tame, pretty mild, pretty laid back. And the reason why is because, well, for one, they hold all the Black Friday sales before Black Friday. Amazon does a bunch of stuff like for weeks leading up to it, as well as after that. And people just realize that they can buy the crap online or go buy it beforehand or after the fact because all the deals still hold. And these stores are trying to sell you items that are like 2 years old, but they just haven't been able to clear out their stock yet. So yeah, Black Friday has effectively become not Black Friday anymore, but just really busy Thursday, I think is a good way to describe it. But Toys R Us is going to get hit with the same thing because now kids have their phones, they have the Switches, they have their tablets, they have their other gadgets. They're not going looking for the next latest and greatest toy. They don't want a Tickle Me Elmo, right? Or a hand job Buzz Lightyear. They don't want any of that stuff. They want what's on their devices. And that's what's killing the toy industry. And it's no one's fault. I don't want anyone to think that I'm blaming anyone. This is just the way that it goes. Now, the company was taken over by private equity giants KKR, Bain Capital, and real estate investment company Vornado in 2005. Together, they paid $6.6 billion, but settled the company with $5.3 billion in debt. That sounds about right, considering Bain Capital. At the time of the bankruptcy, Toys R Us has disclosed that it had about $5 billion in debt and was spending $400 million a year just to pay for it. And that is sad. That is sad. It's simply because Toys R Us should not be a place that should go away. But at the same time, you can't fight progress in this case. You can't fight a shifting change in the winds for what is profitable and what is popular and what kids want to play. Now, the thing is, though, Toys R Us might go away, but I don't know if it's going to be Babies R Us too, because if there's one thing people always like to do, it's have sex. And that can usually lead to children if one's not careful. And then when that happens, you're like, oh my God, I have to buy everything under the sun for my child. And that's why some place like Babies R Us is important. So with any luck, that won't go away because all the items I bought for my daughter are all warranted through Babies R Us. And if they go under, I am totally fucked. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you haven't already, thumbs it up, hit on that subscribe, check out 3 Buck Theater, check out Mundane Chats, or if you just want to help support the channel, the best way to do that is patreon.com/mundanematt, link below in the video description. Thank you guys again, have yourself a great day, and peace out.